Hey world, what's up? Real quick, just coming to you today, man, on a Friday. With all the things going on in the world, it gets crazy, chaotic sometimes, and all the uncertainty, and we just don't know what tomorrow holds. I just want you to remember, have compassion on somebody today. Be compassionate towards your neighbor. Be compassionate towards the friend that might need a little pick me up, or the person that's been on your heart lately that you've been thinking about. Reach out, give them a text, give them a call, give them hey, just thinking about you, praying about you, whatnot. People need it, man. The world's a crazy place right now, and there's just a lot of things going on, and just the uncertainty. And it never hurts just to send an uplifting word. And then I just send that to you today. Maybe somebody needs to hear it. You're down, you've been fighting a battle, you're waiting for a breakthrough, you're waiting for, God to pull through. You've been praying for so long for something, and you're losing faith, you're losing hope. You just don't see the end. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see there's no way out of this. But I'm here to tell you, God's got a plan. God's got a purpose for your life. You're still living. You're still breathing. You're still here, and God will see you through this. And he's got a purpose on the other side of it. When Jesus was going to the cross and he had compassion on the world, he had compassion on the people that were beating him and lashing him and taking him to the cross. He had that compassion, knowing that the redemption was coming, knowing that he was going to be redeemed, that he still was going to live afterwards. He didn't become boastful. He didn't become prideful. He didn't become arrogant. He didn't become, foolish and mocking people and everything else, but he remained compassionate towards those that were coming to, take him and thought they were going to finish his life off. But little did they know, that they didn't know God's plan. And I just think that Jesus, gave us that perfect example, how we can live through life, and we can just, no matter what's being thrown at us, no matter what trial we're going through, no matter what heartache may be coming our way, or we're going through it right now, when, count it all joy that you go through these things. And I know that sounds so counterintuitive and just impossible to do, but how, the joy is like a peace that passes all understanding, that it comes from deep within. It's not happiness. It doesn't say count it all happiness when you go through these trials, and it's a totally different thing. But you can still remain joyful that Jesus, our Savior, went through this pain, went through this agony, and yet he still had compassion on the world when he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, because he just had that compassion in his heart for them, that all would come to know him and have a relationship with him. Love y'all.